the silent planet, the war room was dark and filled with the smell of burning metal. Giant alien creatures sat around a massive table made of black stone. Their red eyes glowed in the darkness as they stared at the huge star map floating above them. Commander Zathok slammed his clawed hand on the table. His voice was deep and angry. 100 years of war. 100 years and we still fight like children. The other aliens nodded. Their enemy, the Helix Empire, had been fighting them for so long that many worlds were now dead rocks floating in space. Billions had died. Entire star systems were nothing but dust and memories. "Sir," said a smaller alien with blue skin, "we have conquered 847 worlds. The Helix Empire has taken 923. But there is still one problem." Zathok's eyes burned brighter. "What problem?" The blue alien pointed to the star map. Among all the red and green lights that showed conquered worlds, there was one small blue dot. It sat alone, untouched by war. "Earth," the alien said quietly. The humans refused to join either side. Zathok stared at the blue dot. Such a tiny planet, such weak creatures living on it. How many times did we ask them to join us? 7 times, sir. We offered them advanced weapons, protection, and great honor in our empire. And the Helix Empire. They made similar offers, sir. The humans said no to everyone. Zathok laughed. It was a sound like metal scraping against stone. Foolish humans. They think they can stay safe while the galaxy burns around them. On the other side of the galaxy, in a ship that looked like a giant silver needle, Empress Vex was having the same conversation. Her skin was white as ice, and her voice was cold as winter wind. "The humans are cowards," she told her generals. "They hide on their little world while brave warriors fight and die. Should we force them to choose a side?" asked General Kor, whose face was covered in metal scars. "Not yet," Empress Vex said. "Let them watch. When we defeat Zathok's empire, the humans will beg to serve us. Then we will decide if they are worthy." But neither the Valdari Empire nor the Helix Empire knew the truth about Earth. Deep underground, beneath the city of New York, Sarah Chen sat in a room filled with glowing screens. She wore a simple blue uniform, but her eyes held the weight of terrible secrets. "Status report," she said to the team of humans working around her. "All monitoring stations are active." "Commander," said Dr. Martinez, a man with gray hair and tired eyes. "We've been watching both alien fleets for the past 6 months. What have we learned? The Valdari Empire has 2,147 ships of war. The Helix Empire has 3,056. Both sides are getting desperate. They're running out of supplies, fuel, and soldiers." Sarah nodded. She had been expecting this day for 20 years. Ever since she was a young girl, Earth's leaders had known this war would eventually reach them. "The galaxy was too small for humans to hide forever, Commander," said Lieutenant Park, a young woman with nervous hands. "Both alien empires sent messages again today. They're getting more demanding." "What did they say?" "The same thing they always say. Join us or face the consequences." Sarah almost smiled. If only they knew what those consequences really meant. Above ground, in the streets of New York, people lived normal lives. They went to work, played with their children, and worried about small problems. A businessman hurried to catch a bus. A mother bought groceries for dinner. Children played in the park. None of them knew that far beneath their feet, the most advanced military facility in the galaxy was keeping them safe. "Sir," Dr. Martinez said quietly, "our deep space sensors show movement. Both alien fleets are repositioning. Where are they going?" "They're moving toward the neutral worlds, Commander. They need resources to continue fighting." Sarah's face became hard as stone. She had hoped the aliens would destroy each other and leave Earth alone. But hope was a luxury that military commanders could not afford. "How long do we have?" she asked. 6 months, maybe less. Both empires are looking at worlds that refuse to join the war. Earth has what they need: metals, fuel, food, and fresh soldiers. Sarah stood up slowly. Around her, the underground facility hummed with quiet power. Miles of tunnels stretched in every direction. Weapons that no alien had ever seen waited in the darkness. Ships that could move faster than light sat ready to launch. For 100 years, while the galaxy burned itself to death, Earth had been building something beautiful and terrible. Send a message to all department heads, Sarah said. Tell them Protocol 7 is now active. Dr. Martinez's eyes went wide. Commander, are you sure? The aliens think Earth is silent because we're afraid, Sarah said. Her voice was calm, but her words carried the promise of thunder. They're about to learn the real reason we stayed quiet. High above, in the cold space between stars, alien scouts watched Earth through powerful telescopes. They saw cities full of lights, farms growing food, and ships that looked weak and slow. Easy targets, the scouts reported to their commanders. The humans have no real defenses. This will be simple. But if they had looked deeper, if they had sensors that could see through rock and metal, they would have seen something that would have made them run screaming back to their own worlds. Earth was not hiding from the war. Earth was preparing to end it. The Watchers, the elevator moved down. Sarah Chen stood in the metal box as it dropped through solid rock for 3 full minutes. The numbers on the wall showed they were going deeper than any building had ever been built. When the doors opened, Sarah stepped into a world that no alien could imagine. The underground facility stretched as far as the eye could see. Thousands of people in blue uniforms worked at glowing computers. Giant screens showed every corner of the galaxy. Ships that looked like silver arrows sat in massive hangars, ready to fly faster than any alien vessel. Welcome to Watchtower Station, Sarah said to Lieutenant Park, who was visiting the deep levels for the first time. This is where we've been watching the war for 100 years. Park's mouth fell open. Commander, this place is huge. How long did it take to build all this? We started the day after first contact, Sarah replied. When the aliens first came to Earth, they made a mistake. They thought we were primitive because we didn't have spaceships. They didn't know that humans are very good at learning from their enemies. They walked past a wall covered with alien ship designs. Every type of weapon, every kind of shield, every battle tactic was written in neat rows. Human scientists had studied them all. Dr. Chen, called a voice from across the room. Sarah turned to see her older brother, Dr. David Chen. He was the head of alien technology research. His lab coat was covered in oil stains, and his hair was messy from working all night. David, what's the status on the new weapon systems? Better than we hoped, Sarah. We've been testing captured alien technology for decades. Their weapons are powerful, but they have weaknesses. We found ways to make them even better. David led them to a window that looked into a testing chamber. Inside, a human soldier fired a weapon that shot beams of pure light. The beam cut through alien armor like it was made of paper. That armor came from a Valdari battleship, David explained. Their strongest metal. Our improved version of their own weapon goes through it like butter. Lieutenant Park stared in amazement. How did we get alien armor? Sarah smiled. The aliens have been fighting each other for 100 years. Do you think they clean up their battlefields? We've been collecting their wrecked ships, studying their dead soldiers, and learning from their mistakes. They walked to another section where maps of alien worlds covered the walls. Red pins showed Valdari Empire planets. Blue pins showed Helix Empire worlds. But there were also green pins on planets that both aliens thought were empty. What are the green pins? Park asked. Human observation posts, Sarah said quietly. We have people watching every major alien world. We know their troop movements before their own generals do. An alarm began to ring. A woman's voice spoke over the speakers. Commander Chen to the war room. Priority Alpha message incoming. Sarah ran to the war room with Park close behind. Inside, a huge holographic display showed the galaxy with thousands of moving dots representing ships. Report, Sarah ordered. Commander, we're getting signals from our deep space listening posts, said Captain Hayes, a man with white hair and steady hands. Both alien fleets are moving toward the neutral zone. Show me. The display zoomed in on a section of space near Earth. Red dots representing Valdari ships were moving from the left. Blue dots showing Helix Empire vessels came from the right. All of them were heading toward planets that had refused to join the war. How many ships? Sarah asked. Valdari Empire 400 ships. Helix Empire 500 ships. They're targeting planets with resources they need to continue fighting. Park looked confused. Commander, why don't we warn those planets? Sarah's face became sad. We tried, Lieutenant. 50 years ago, we sent secret messages to every neutral world. We offered to help them prepare for this day. Most of them laughed at us. They said humans were too weak to help anyone. What about the ones who didn't laugh? Those are the green pins you saw on the map. 12 worlds decided to trust us. They've been building defenses just like Earth. When the aliens attack them, they're going to get a very big surprise. Captain Hayes pointed to the display. Commander, look at this. The alien fleets are changing course. The red and blue dots on the screen began moving in a new direction. Sarah's blood turned cold as she realized where they were going. They're heading for Earth, she whispered. Why now? Park asked. What changed? Dr. Martinez appeared on one of the communication screens. He was calling from the surface. Commander, we just intercepted alien communications. Both empires have decided that Earth has been neutral long enough. They want our resources, and they're coming to take them. Sarah closed her eyes for a moment. She had hoped this day would never come, but she had prepared for it her entire life. All department heads to the war room, she announced. This is not a drill. Within minutes, the room filled with Earth's greatest military minds. General Rodriguez, who had studied alien battle tactics for 30 years. Admiral Kim, who had designed Earth's secret space fleet. Dr. Patel, who had created weapons that could destroy alien shields. Ladies and gentlemen, Sarah said, the time for watching is over. Both alien empires are sending fleets to Earth. They expect us to surrender without a fight. What are your orders, Commander? Asked General Rodriguez. Sarah walked to the center of the room. Around her, displays showed Earth's hidden defenses. Orbital platforms that looked like asteroids but were actually weapons. Underground missile bases that could shoot down alien ships. A fleet of human vessels that had been built in secret moon bases. We stick to the plan, Sarah said. For 100 years we have prepared for this moment. We let them think we are weak. We let them land on our world. And then we show them what humans can do when they fight for their home. Admiral Kim looked worried. Commander, our intelligence shows they're bringing nearly 1,000 ships. Are you sure we're ready? Sarah smiled, but it was not a kind smile. It was the smile of a predator who had been hiding in tall grass, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Admiral, we've been ready for 50 years. The only question is whether the aliens are ready for us. She turned to the main display, which showed Earth from space. It looked so peaceful, so quiet, but beneath the surface, the most powerful military force in the galaxy was preparing to defend their home. Send a message to all our observation posts, Sarah ordered. Tell them Phase 1 is complete. The watching is over, and Phase 2? Asked Captain Hayes. Sarah looked at the approaching alien fleets on the display. 2 empires that had conquered nearly 2,000 worlds. 2 civilizations that thought Earth would be easy prey. Phase 2 is simple, she said. We teach the galaxy why Earth stayed quiet for so long. High above the planet, the first alien scout ships entered Earth's solar system. Their sensors showed a world full of easy targets. No space defenses, no military satellites, no signs of advanced weapons. The alien commanders smiled as they sent messages back to their fleets. Earth is defenseless. This will be over quickly. But they didn't know that every move they made was being watched by thousands of human eyes. Every word they spoke was being recorded by human ears. Every plan they made was already known to the defenders of Earth. The aliens thought they were hunters coming to catch helpless prey. They were about to discover they were prey walking into the den of the most dangerous predator in the galaxy. Part 3, First Contact. The alien ship was massive. It looked like a black mountain floating in space above Earth. Inside the command center, Captain Vorth looked down at the blue planet through his red eyes. His skin was gray like stone, and his teeth were sharp like knives. Such a pretty little world, he said to his crew. It's almost sad to destroy it. His second-in-command, a smaller alien with blue spots on his face, checked the scanner readings. Sir, I'm not detecting any space defenses. No military satellites, no weapon platforms, Captain Vorth laughed. The sound was like rocks falling down a mountain. Of course not. These humans are cowards. They've been hiding while the galaxy burned around them. He opened a communication channel to Earth. His voice boomed down to the planet below. Attention, humans of Earth. I am Captain Vorth of the Valdari Empire. You have something we need. Surrender your mining rights, your food supplies, and your young people for our army. You have 1 hour to decide. Down on Earth, in cities around the world, people stopped what they were doing. They looked up at the giant ship blocking out the sun, but they did not run. They did not scream. They just stood there, calm and quiet. In the underground command center, Sarah Chen listened to the alien captain's message. Around her, hundreds of officers waited for her orders. "Response ready, Commander," said Captain Hayes. Sarah picked up the microphone. Her voice was steady and clear as she spoke back to the alien ship. No, one word. Simple and final. Captain Vorth stared at his communication device. Did they just say no? Yes, sir. Just that one word. The alien captain's face turned dark with anger. Foolish humans. Land the troops. We'll take what we need by force. 12 large ships separated from the main vessel. They flew down through Earth's atmosphere like falling stars. The ships landed in different places around the world, near mining sites, farms, and cities. Captain Vorth chose to land his ship near a large mining operation in Australia. The mining equipment looked old and simple, perfect for easy conquest. The alien soldiers marched out of their ships wearing heavy armor and carrying energy weapons. They expected to see humans running away in terror. Instead, they found workers calmly continuing their jobs. A human man in work clothes walked up to the alien soldiers. He was old, with grey hair and hands covered in dirt from the mines. He looked very ordinary. "Morning," the old man said pleasantly. "You folks lost?" Captain Vorth pushed past his soldiers. He was 3 times bigger than the human miner. "I'm Captain Vorth. This mining site now belongs to the Valdari Empire." The old man nodded slowly. "Well, that's interesting, but I'm afraid there's a problem with your plan." "What problem, human? This isn't really a mining site." Captain Vorth looked confused. "What do you mean?" "I can see the mining equipment." The old man smiled. It was a friendly smile, but his eyes were hard as diamonds. "Oh, that old stuff? That's just for show." He pulled a small device from his pocket and pressed a button. The ground began to shake. The fake mining equipment folded away like toys. The earth opened up, and something incredible rose from beneath the surface. A massive weapons platform emerged from underground. It was covered in guns that looked like nothing the aliens had ever seen. The barrels glowed with blue energy. "You see," the old man continued, still speaking in his calm voice, "Earth has been preparing for visitors like you for a very long time." Captain Vorth stepped backward. "Impossible. Our scouts said you had no defenses." "Your scouts saw what we wanted them to see," the old man replied. "Every mining site, every farm, every city on Earth has been ready for this day." Around the world, the same thing was happening. In Africa, a wheat field opened up to reveal missile launches. In Europe, a peaceful forest split apart to show rows of fighter ships. In Asia, a quiet mountain turned inside out, revealing enough weapons to destroy a fleet. The alien soldiers raised their energy rifles, but the old miner shook his head. "I wouldn't do that if I were you." From hidden positions around the mining site, human soldiers appeared. They moved like ghosts, rising from holes in the ground and emerging from fake rocks. Their weapons were sleek and deadly, but the most surprising thing was not their weapons. It was how calm they looked. These humans weren't afraid. They weren't angry. They were just doing a job they had trained for their entire lives. "Surrender now," said the old miner, "and we'll send you home with a message for your empire." Captain Vorth snarled and fired his energy weapon at the human. The beam of red light shot toward the old man's chest. The beam hit an invisible barrier and bounced harmlessly away. The old miner hadn't even moved. "Personal shield generator," he explained casually. "We learned how to make them from studying your crashed ships. Ours work better than yours." Captain Vorth roared in anger and signaled his soldiers to attack. Energy beams filled the air as the aliens opened fire on the humans. None of the beams hit their targets. The humans moved like water, flowing around the alien attacks. Their return fire was precise and deadly. Alien soldiers fell as human weapons cut through their armor like it was made of paper. In space, Captain Vorth's main ship tried to help the ground forces. They fired their biggest guns down at the human positions. The massive energy beams hit the fake mining site and exploded in balls of fire and light. Captain Vorth smiled, thinking he had killed all the humans, but when the smoke cleared, the humans were still there. Their weapons platforms were undamaged. They were protected by energy shields stronger than anything the aliens possessed. "This is impossible," Captain Vorth screamed into his communicator. "How can primitive humans have such advanced technology?" Down on Earth, the old miner picked up a fallen alien communicator. He spoke directly to the alien captain in space. "We're not primitive, Captain. We've just been very patient. Every battle you've fought for 100 years, we've been watching. Every weapon you've used, we've studied. Every mistake you've made, we've learned from." The human forces began their counterattack. Fighters that looked like silver arrows shot up from hidden bases. They moved faster than alien ships and fired weapons that could punch through any armor. Captain Vorth watched in horror as his landing ships were destroyed one by one. His troops on the ground were surrounded and captured. His great invasion was falling apart. "Retreat!" He ordered his remaining ships. Full retreat to deep space. But as his ship tried to flee, it found the way blocked. Human vessels had surrounded them in space. Ships that hadn't been there before now filled the darkness between the stars. Sarah Chen's voice came over the alien communication system. It was the same calm voice that had said no to their demands. "Captain Vorth, this is Commander Chen of Earth Defense Force. You came here thinking we were weak. You were wrong. You thought we were hiding from your war. We were preparing to end it. This isn't over, human," Captain Vorth shouted. "Both empires will come for you now." "We're counting on it," Sarah replied. "Tell your empires that Earth is no longer neutral. We're taking an active role in this war, and we're going to finish it our way." Captain Vorth's ship was allowed to escape, carrying news of Earth's power back to the Valdari Empire. But the message they carried was not one of easy conquest. It was a warning that the quiet planet they had ignored for 100 years was actually the most dangerous world in the galaxy. Down on Earth, the old miner took off his work gloves and revealed hands that were not dirty from mining. They were the steady hands of a soldier who had been waiting his whole life for this fight. "Phase 2 complete," he said into his radio. "The aliens know who we are now." Sarah Chen's voice came back over the communication. "Well done. Now comes the real test. Both empires will send their full fleets. Are we ready?" The old soldier looked up at the sky where alien ships were fleeing in terror. Soon, that same sky would be filled with thousands of enemy vessels, all coming to destroy the world that had dared to fight back. "We've been ready for 50 years, Commander. Let them come." The storm, the alien fleets came like a storm of death across the stars. Captain Vorth's message had reached both empires at the same time. For the first time in 100 years, the Valdari Empire and the Helix Empire agreed on something. Earth had to die. Commander Zathak stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Destroyer of Worlds. Through the massive windows, he could see his fleet stretching across space like a metal ocean. 1,000 Valdari ships, each one big enough to destroy a city. "Sir," said his communications officer, "the Helix Empire fleet has arrived." On the other side of Earth's solar system, Empress Vex commanded her own armada. 900 silver ships that moved like deadly snakes through the darkness. Her pale face showed no emotion as she spoke to her generals. "Today we end the human problem forever," she said. "After we destroy Earth, we can finish our war with the Valdari without interruption." Both fleets moved toward Earth at the same time. The planet looked so small and helpless between two walls of alien warships. From space, no one could see any defenses. Earth appeared to be completely open to attack. In the underground command center, Sarah Chen watched the approaching enemy on her screens. Around her, every officer in Earth's military was ready for the fight of their lives. "Report," Sarah said calmly. "Enemy fleet size, 1,900 ships total," Captain Hayes announced. "They've positioned themselves on opposite sides of the planet. Classic pincer attack." Admiral Kim looked worried. "Commander, that's more ships than we planned for." "Our simulations only went up to 1,500 enemy vessels," Sarah nodded. "Then we'll have to be better than our simulations." She opened a communication channel to both alien fleets. Her voice was broadcast across space to nearly 2,000 enemy ships. "This is Commander Sarah Chen of Earth. You have entered our solar system without permission. Turn back now, or face the consequences." Commander Zathok laughed so hard that his bridge crew could hear him through their ship's metal walls. "Little human girl thinks she can threaten the greatest fleet in the galaxy." Empress Vex was equally amused. Poor humans. They still don't understand how small they are. Both alien commanders sent the same message back to Earth. "Surrender now and we will make your deaths quick." Sarah's response was simple. "No." Commander Zathok's face turned dark with rage. "All ships open fire. Turn that planet into dust." Empress Vex gave the same order to her fleet. "Destroy everything. Leave nothing alive." 2,000 alien weapons fired at once. Beams of energy so powerful they could melt mountains shot toward Earth from every direction. The combined firepower was enough to crack a planet in half. But the beams never reached Earth's surface. Instead, they hit a barrier of pure energy that surrounded the entire planet. The alien weapons exploded against the shield in flowers of light and fire. Earth sat safely inside its protective bubble, completely undamaged. "Impossible," Commander Zathok roared. "No shield can stop that much firepower." On Earth, Sarah Chen smiled. "Planetary defense grid is holding perfectly. All energy absorbed and redirected to our weapon systems." Dr. David Chen's voice came over the speakers from his laboratory. "Sarah, the aliens just gave us enough power to run our defenses for a year. Their own weapons are charging our batteries." Admiral Kim stared at the displays in amazement. "We're using their attack to make ourselves stronger. Every joule of energy they fire at us gets stored in our power banks," Sarah explained. "The more they attack, the more powerful we become." In space, the alien fleets regrouped for another attack. Commander Zathok was puzzled and angry. How can primitives have such advanced shields? "Sir," said his science officer, "our scans show the shield is generated by stations on Earth's moon and in the asteroid belt. If we destroy those generators—" "Yes, all ships, new target. Destroy their shield generators." But as the alien fleets moved toward the moon, something impossible happened. Objects they had thought were asteroids began to unfold like metal flowers. The asteroid belt was full of hidden human stations, each one bigger than an alien battleship. "Defensive platforms online," announced Captain Hayes. "All orbital weapons ready to fire." What the aliens had seen as empty space around Earth was actually the most heavily defended region in the galaxy. Hundreds of hidden weapons platforms had been disguised as rocks and space debris. Sarah stood up from her command chair. For 100 years, her people had prepared for this moment. Now it was time to show the galaxy what humans could do when they fought for their home. "All stations, you are free to engage," she ordered. "Show them why Earth stayed quiet for so long." The hidden platforms opened fire all at once. Beams of blue light shot out from every direction, hitting alien ships with perfect accuracy. But these weren't ordinary weapons. These were alien designs improved by human engineering. Valdari ships exploded as their own technology was used against them with deadly precision. Helix Empire vessels found their shields useless against weapons that had been built specifically to defeat them. "This is madness." Empress Vex screamed as she watched her ships die around her. "How do they know our weaknesses?" The answer came from Sarah Chen's voice, broadcast to both fleets. "We've been watching you fight for 100 years. We know every tactic you use, every weapon you carry, every flaw in your armor. You taught us how to defeat you." Commander Zathok tried to rally his fleet. "All ships attack Formation 7. Use the split maneuver." But before his ships could move, Earth's mobile defense force appeared from behind the moon. Sleek human vessels that moved faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. They struck like silver lightning, hitting the alien formations before they could react. The human ships were smaller than the alien vessels, but they fought like wolves attacking cattle. They knew exactly where to strike to cause maximum damage. Every shot found its target. Every maneuver put them in the perfect position. "Retreat," Commander Zathok ordered. "Pull back to long range." Agreed. Empress Vex commanded her fleet. "Withdraw and regroup." But as both alien fleets tried to escape, they found their way blocked. More human ships appeared from hidden bases throughout the solar system. Earth's defenders had surrounded them completely. Sarah Chen's voice filled the space around both fleets. "You came here to destroy us. Now you're trapped. This is what happens when you underestimate Earth. Admiral Kim watched the battle displays with growing excitement. Commander, we've destroyed over 300 enemy ships and we haven't lost a single vessel. Damage report on our forces? Sarah asked. Minor shield damage on 2 platforms. No casualties. No structural damage to any ships. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The plan was working perfectly. But she knew the real test was still coming. Sir, Captain Hayes said urgently, both alien fleets are trying something new. They're moving toward each other. On the main display, the Valdari and Helix fleets began joining together. Ancient enemies were becoming allies in the face of human power. Commander Zathok appeared on Empress Vex's communication screen. His face was bloody and his ship was damaged. Empress, we must work together or we both die here. Empress Vex nodded grimly. Agreed, combine our fleets. Use everything we have. The combined alien armada formed a single massive formation. Over 1,000 surviving ships moved as one toward Earth. They began charging weapons that could destroy entire star systems. They're preparing to use planet-killer weapons, Admiral Kim reported. If those hit us, even our shields won't hold. Sarah Chen looked at the approaching fleet. This was the moment she had trained for her entire life. The moment when Earth would either prove itself as the greatest military power in the galaxy or die trying. Open all weapon batteries, she ordered. Prepare for full counterattack. Around Earth, every hidden platform, every secret weapon, every ship in the human fleet prepared for the final battle. What happened in the next few minutes would decide the fate of the galaxy. Sarah spoke one last time to the alien fleets. You've spent 100 years learning how to destroy each other. Now let us show you how to win a war. The storm was about to break, and Earth was ready to ride the lightning. Part 5. The Wrong Enemy. The alien planet-killer weapons, charged with the power of dying stars. Commander Zathok and Empress Vex stood together on the bridge of the combined fleet's command ship. Their ancient hatred was forgotten in the face of human power. Fire everything, Zathok ordered. Turn that cursed planet into space dust. The combined alien fleet unleashed weapons that could crack worlds in half. Beams of pure destruction shot toward Earth with enough force to destroy entire solar systems. But Sarah Chen was ready. Activate Protocol Omega, she commanded. Around Earth, something impossible happened. The planet's moon split open like a giant metal flower. Inside was the largest weapon ever built by any species in the galaxy. A cannon so massive it used the moon itself as its barrel. The alien planet-killer beams hit Earth's shields and were absorbed completely. All that destructive energy flowed through hidden conduits to the moon weapon. The alien's own attack powered humanity's response. Impossible! Empress Vex screamed. No civilization could build something that large. You're right. Sarah's voice came across space to the alien fleet. No single civilization could build it, but we had help. On the main display in Earth's command center, new ships began appearing throughout the solar system. Ships that looked different from human vessels, but moved in perfect coordination with Earth's fleet. Commander, Captain Hayes announced with a smile, our allies have arrived. Admiral Kim stared at the displays in amazement. Those are ships from the neutral worlds, the ones we contacted 50 years ago. Not just ships, Sarah corrected. Those are friends who believed in us when no one else would. The alien commanders watched in horror as their easy targets revealed themselves. 12 worlds that had refused to join the galactic war now showed their true power. Each planet had spent 50 years building weapons with human help. A voice came over the communication channel. It was deep and musical, speaking perfect human English. This is Admiral Korvash of the Centauri Alliance. Earth called and we answered. Another voice joined in, this one high and clear. Captain Yathara of the Vegan Republic. Ready to fight alongside our human friends. One by one, representatives from 12 different worlds announced their presence. The aliens had not just attacked Earth. They had attacked an alliance of worlds that had been secretly preparing for this day. You see, Sarah explained to the trapped alien fleets, Earth wasn't hiding from your war. We were building something better. An alliance based on choice, not fear. Commander Zathok's face turned pale with understanding. The neutral worlds, they were all working together. For 50 years, Sarah confirmed. While you two empires destroyed each other, we were creating something new. A galaxy where worlds could choose peace instead of being forced into war. The moon weapon finished charging. Its barrel, carved from lunar rock and lined with alien technology, pointed directly at the combined alien fleet. Last chance, Sarah offered. Surrender now, and we'll let you rebuild your civilizations in peace. Continue fighting, and we'll end this war the hard way. Empress Vex snarled with rage. Never. The Helix Empire does not surrender to primitives. Commander Zathok agreed. The Valdari choose death before dishonor. Sarah sighed sadly. Then you've made your choice. The moon weapon fired. The beam that shot out was not just energy. It was concentrated human determination, powered by alien fury, and guided by the hopes of 13 worlds that wanted peace. It cut through space like a sword of light, hitting the center of the alien formation. But the weapon didn't destroy the ships. Instead, it created a field that shut down every alien vessel instantly. Engines stopped. Weapons went dead. Life support systems failed to emergency backup power. The entire alien fleet floated helplessly in space. What did you do to us? Commander Zathok demanded over the emergency communication system. We gave you what you gave the galaxy for 100 years, Sarah replied. Helplessness. Your ships are disabled, but your crews are alive. Now you'll listen to our terms. Across the galaxy, other worlds watched in amazement as news of the battle spread. The two greatest empires in known space had been defeated by planets they thought were weak and primitive. On Earth, Sarah Chen addressed not just the defeated aliens, but every world in the galaxy. For 100 years you've lived in fear. Fear of choosing the wrong side. Fear of being conquered. Fear of being alone. That era is over. Today, 13 worlds stood together as equals. We didn't conquer anyone. We didn't force anyone to join us. We simply offered a choice, peace or war. Most of you chose war. We chose to end it. Commander Zathok's voice was broken and defeated. What happens to our empires now? You'll rebuild them, Sarah said. But not as conquerors. Your worlds will become part of something larger. A galactic council where every planet has a voice. Where conflicts are solved with words, not weapons. And if we refuse? Empress Vex asked. Sarah's voice became hard as steel. Then you'll discover what happens when you pick a fight with Earth and lose. We have the power to destroy both your empires completely. But we'd rather make you our friends. Admiral Kim looked confused. Commander, why are we offering them mercy? They came here to destroy us. Because, Sarah explained, that's what makes us different from them. They rule through fear. We lead through hope. They create enemies. We create allies. In the disabled alien ships, crews began to understand what had happened. Earth hadn't just defeated them militarily. They had been outthought, outplanned, and outfought at every level. How long have you been planning this? Commander Zathok asked quietly. Since the day your empires first contacted Earth, Sarah replied. We knew this war would eventually reach us, so we prepared, not just to defend ourselves, but to end the conflict completely. We studied every battle you fought. We learned from every mistake you made. We found the 12 bravest worlds in the galaxy and helped them prepare. And when you finally came for us, we were ready. Across space, the Allied fleets began rescue operations. Human and Allied ships moved to help the disabled alien vessels. Instead of finishing off their enemies, they were saving their lives. This is not how war works, Empress Vex said, confused by the mercy being shown. That's because this isn't war anymore, Sarah replied. This is the beginning of peace. Real peace. Not the peace of the conquered, but the peace of the willing. Within hours, the news spread to every corner of the galaxy. The Valdari Empire and Helix Empire had surrendered to a coalition of worlds led by Earth. The 100-year war was over, but more importantly, something new was beginning. Planets that had been forced to choose sides were now free to choose their own paths. Worlds that had lived in fear could now plan for the future. On Earth, Sarah Chen stood in the command center that had been her home for 20 years. Around her, officers were already planning the peace that would follow. Commander, Captain Hayes said, what do we do now? We built the greatest military force in the galaxy to fight this war. What happens to all this power? Sarah looked at the displays showing ships from 13 different worlds working together to help their former enemies. We use it to make sure no one ever has to build another one. The galaxy learned something today, she continued. They learned that the quiet worlds, the peaceful planets, the ones who refuse to fight, sometimes they're not hiding from war, sometimes they're preparing to end it. Dr. David Chen appeared on the communication screen from his laboratory. Sarah, we're getting messages from over 300 worlds. They all want to join our alliance, Sarah smiled. Tell them they're welcome, but make sure they understand the rules. No forced membership, no conquered territories. Everyone gets a voice, and everyone gets a choice. As the sun set on Earth, people around the world looked up at the sky. The alien ships were still there, but they were no longer threats. They were the beginning of something new. In space, former enemies worked side by side to build a future none of them had imagined possible. Commander Zathok and Empress Vex met in person for the first time in decades, not as enemies planning war, but as leaders trying to understand peace. How did we get it so wrong? Zathok asked. We thought strength meant making others fear us, Vex replied. The humans showed us that real